Okay, so I'm back with Jupiter in the 10th house. Hmm. Okay, so here we go with Jupiter in the 10th house. Is first of all, we have Jupiter. Then we have the 10th house, the house of public, goals, career. You put Jupiter in there. This is someone that have big goals. Okay. And they can be at the top of their career in whatever field that they have or they choose to be in. Only thing with their goals, sometimes your goals, you can be very out there and you can have a large goals that you're trying to complete and you can take on too much, okay, uh, of work and then start finding it hard to complete. So it's interesting because you can get lucky when it comes to completing your goals and building and working your way up the ladder through somebody that you know, or just for the sheer fact that you just get in there and you just do what you have to do. You're not limited. But at the same time, you can also take on too much. Have you guys ever heard of that? I don't think that Jupiter in the 10th house believes that there's ever too much. And the more that you do, it seems like the more notoriety that you get. And that makes you want to do more. And that makes you want to do more. Okay? Because of it. Because Jupiter loves his attention. Now, I also seen the flip side of this because I seen people to where they work a lot, like they do a lot of work, and they do a lot of work because it takes a lot of work for them to get ahead. Interesting enough, Jupiter usually gets lucky in the field or the area that they're in or that is in. However, when we're dealing with the house of Saturn, it doesn't matter what planet is in the house of Saturn. That planet cannot leave or get through the house of Saturn without being scathed by the house of Saturn. So whatever, you would be better off having Jupiter in like the first house, the second house of getting what you want, versus the 10th house and thinking you're going to get what you want easy. It comes through something, some type of sacrifice. But nonetheless, Jupiter here can get what it wants, especially Jupiter in Aquarius, because Aquarius does good with the 10th house. It really does, because it doesn't really seek fame or notoriety. It just does what it does. It operates in a detached way. And you know the saying about being detached. Whenever you're detached in what you want, a lot of times you get it. And it's not to say that people with Jupiter and Aquarius get what they want easily just because it's in the 10th house. Depends on the rest of the chart. But Jupiter in the 10th house, it can be through, like, you worked and you worked very hard. When people go back and they check your resume or your skill set, you have a lot to offer. And this can push you to be publicly known or to the forefront of your field, to getting your goals met and accomplished. And then what does that bring? Other people. Because now other people want to know, how did you do what you did to get to the position that you got to? And they want you to teach them. They want you to motivate them. You can also see like a minister, a pastor, a motivational speaker, a broadcaster in, the entertainment field, or someone that advertises, a newscaster, things of that nature, also in this house. Okay? Only thing or limitations I see with Jupiter in the 10th house is the fact that many of you guys can see your limitations. that doesn't have to be a bad thing. Like, you could see your limitations quicker than somebody with Jupiter in another house, where they want to take, or gain, expand, and just keep taking it in. Jupiter here recognizes and realizes its limitations. And you know what it'll do? Instead of just going head first into the wrong direction, although, depending on the chart, Saturn may let some of you go head first into the wrong direction. And when you do it one time too many, you'll learn to kind of back up and not take so much or not expand so much, and really look at what portions is all about. Taking steps. Okay. But for the most part, you guys are able to see certain limitations, or where, oh, you know what? I don't qualify for this position, or I haven't met the goals or requirements of the goals that I'm trying to accomplish. So I need to go do that. And you would be more better at going and fixing what you need to, or doing what you need to, expanding in your skill set, working on it, perfecting your craft to move on to the next level. That's how Saturn lets you move on to the next level, versus a Jupiter operating freely, because you're able to see where, like, man, I see my vision, but at the same time, I'm going to be a little bit more realistic about how I'm going to obtain that vision. Now, Jupiter here in the 10th house, you can also get inheritances from, like, the father figure as well. And then it can put you in a higher position of the company, or whatever it is that was built or left for you. So yeah, like inheritances, or like maybe like somewhere in your family, like the dad or father figure had a business or something that he worked at and he passed it down to you. So with Jupiter in the 10th house, you can see where this person, you can get stuff easy, but you still gonna have to work to maintain it, because the person who left it for you worked to maintain it, you know? Or you can be the face of it. You could be the person, like the spokesperson of it. And if you're the spokesperson of a company, it could be a well-known company, or a company that's been around for decades. That's how it got its name and its public notoriety. Saturn in the 10th house could also make connections with foreigners. And you could want to travel. Like, you could want to expand past your current place that you live or culture that you know about. And it could be limitations on that. Like, maybe the culture you're in don't like the culture you want to go move to, or you want to go know about. In this day and age, that's changing now, you know. Or maybe the work that you do doesn't really allow you to go to these different places, you know, at the time. But then as you get recognized, as people start wanting you to come to these other places, to teach them, to minister to them, to motivate to them, to speak, whatever the case may be, then you start traveling, or to just do your work, you know. So some of you guys, you need to definitely look into getting to the field of work to where you travel, because see, you could be limited by being able to expand and accomplish your goals if you're not willing to look outside of the current place that you're at. So you might do business with foreigners, but this is my thing. Some of you guys that want to do that and you find that there's limitations, it could be limitations for a set amount of time, but you just keep working, you just keep focusing, and you just keep knowing the direction that you want to go in, and eventually you'll get there. But for sure is your people are going to look at you for your positive nature, even when you have to do hard work. I feel like you guys get lucky in service to other people. Anything to where you service other people, or people feel like you're servicing them. Like, where people feel like, oh man, you hooked me up with a sale, or I can come to you and it feels like I can come to your church or something, and you give back to us, or you give back to the community, or you always have something so positive to say, or they feel like they benefit off of what you've made or you've created or you've completed in some way, shape, or form. And if they feel like they benefit, then that's you being a service. That's you utilizing the 10th house the correct way, and you get blessed for that. You get noticed for that. I wouldn't say lucky, because Jupiter is known the planet of luck and things of that nature. However, Jupiter in the 10th house may not feel so lucky, because Jupiter wants to just be free, and Saturn is not going to let it just be free. Saturn is like, okay, you have to operate out of the rules of this house. And in this house, I'm going to restrict you. I'm going to limit you. I'm going to make you build. But you guys can have great vision. You can structurize any vision that you have. You just have to be willing to work at it. And you cannot let, sometimes people with displacement let the limitations that they feel like they're going to face stop them dead in their tracks. And they will not rise to their potential. So you have to be willing to let the challenges come, and not go through this ego trip of seeing yourself fail, and because it usually plays out in public. You got to be willing to fall and get back up again. You got to be willing to let the limitations just be another challenge that you're going to overcome. And you got to learn that you're not going to be able to just dive head first in and just run 100 miles per hour and get to your destination. You got to stop. You got to see what every little level that Saturn lets you rise to is showing you. And you have to be willing to learn from your mistakes. And Jupiter is about learning. I'm Butterfly Light. I'll be back.